it has that grandeur that takes Indian cinema to amazing heights.
I've shot it in Kolhapur. So
it's looking some Afghanistan or Kazakhstan or something like that.
मैं ये believe करता हूँ कि पद्मावत बन गई, वो ऊपर वाले की इच्छा थी, it had to happen. But for me it was magic. Magic cannot be explained. You cannot logically analyze it. So when I shot, where I shot, how I shot. One day I asked Lata Didi, I said, आपने वो गाने में वो जगह कैसे कब तो बोले क्या मालूम कब ली और कैसे ली कुछ मालूम नहीं, क्यों ली मालूम नहीं.
So everyone is very curious to know about that particular framing of that mountains shot, sir. The battleground scene, and you have those brown mountains in the backdrop. That's a brilliant scene, sir. In terms of it has that grandeur that takes Indian cinema to amazing heights, that you can actually visualize something like that, and it's looking beautiful. So how did you shoot for that particular scene, sir?
You know, Faridun, you cannot analyze everything that how did you shoot or how did you conceive, because half the time.
Where have you shot it, sir?
I've shot it in Kolhapur. So
it's looking some Afghanistan or Kazakhstan or something like that.
Because every time that you shoot, most of the time if you are in a zone, why do you get up and do something? Why do you suddenly change an action into something? Everything that was on script, everything that was on paper, I would go to the set and do something completely different. I would turn the scene on its head. I would tell my actors, okay, we've prepared this and come, sir, what do we do? I said, now forget about that. The content remains the same, but we'll treat it differently. So every time I'm on the set, I am tripping. I am in a zone which I can't understand why I did a few things, and through the film I've done it. And today sometimes when I look back at the film, I say, how the hell did I do this? Why did I do this? When did I get the idea? Because it all happens on the set. Which location? This is the location. Because we had a huge problem in Jaipur and we had to leave that location. Because so then whatever happens for the best. You go to the best places and you shoot and you do what you have to do, and I think it's also divine intervention. I think some things, there is a certain, why did this painting happen by a particular painter and then it never happened again? Sometimes a film just happens, you cannot make it. Why did Mughal-E-Azam, Asif could never repeat it, or even if he tried it would have never happened. कुछ फिल्में हो जाती है, वो पाकीज़ा बन जाती है, वो मैं ये believe करता हूँ कि पद्मावत बन गई, वो ऊपर वाले की इच्छा थी, it had to happen, and everyone was correctly time was surle the match kar raha hai of the entire unit. Now that's a blessing. This film can only happen because somebody saying that location is superb. Somebody saying, okay, we'll enhance it with 2 more mountains and put 2 more hills over there. Somebody saying, and we'll, so how everybody puts in together and comes to the point of finding excellence. Finding excellence is a constant search. So we, at least now also, right now, I don't feel I have found it. I want to go and start shooting a film tomorrow. My office is pleading and saying, give us a 1-month break, then we'll think of what to come up to. And I am right now very, very restless. I want to go back to the floor. So I've worked with people who are searching for excellence for it. And then none of us know if anybody can sit in front of you and say, I did this because I thought of this and I thought of this is nonsense, because it was an inspired zone. You walked into set and you didn't know what you were saying, what you were doing, and it was just magic, for me at least. It may not be for you, it may not be for 5 more critics over there or for a certain section of the audience. But for me it was magic. Magic cannot be explained. You cannot logically analyze it. So when I shot, where I shot, how I shot.
Right, Majid, I think Guzarish, you have some wonderful, I think, dialogues as far as regarding this entire, I think, the magic part of it. The way you just visualize certain things, because when we see, be it the last scene of the Johar sequence, be it when Deepika and Shahid are together, when the first time they come together, when we see several scenes of Ranveer as well, that grandeur that you have in terms of the entire framing part of it. How do you come up with these things? Because the fact is that in today's India, I don't think anyone can remotely come close to the way you visualize things, because everything, it has like a context in your frame. I asked you this after Bajirao Mastani as well. That it's beautiful to just look at, because everything when you look in the frame, there's something that, and it is there for a reason, and it's looking beautiful.
भाई उसका जवाब मैं क्या दूँ? बस वो होता है. I have a certain way of looking at things. I have a certain way of planning and working hard on things. I work 18 hours, 20 hours when I'm making a film. I sacrifice the world and I don't worry about any party, any entertainment, any film. Nothing matters to me. to the extent that my family doesn't matter to me. Nothing matters to me. So I'm so focused, and the way I want to see it, I don't know, it just happens, it comes. I don't know where it comes. I don't know why I particularly want that cave in a certain way. Why will I place Deepika in a certain angle and shoot it from that angle? Yeah. I really have no idea when it is all unfolding in the mind. How do I answer this question? I myself I just put the camera and say, this is the shot. So you take the shot, and me and my cameraman come to a conclusion that, okay, fine, this is the best place to see it. Shooting starts lighting it, we take the shot. I cannot understand how you. One day I asked Lata Didi, I said, "आपने वो गाने में वो जगह कब तो बोले क्या मालूम कब ली और कैसे ली कुछ मालूम नहीं क्यों ली मालूम नहीं." I think the spontaneous part of my work is what connects to everybody, because it is not studied. There is a certain scale, there is a certain bigness to the shot, but it's just not about being big. It's about what you do with that big set or a big frame or a big wide lens that you've put. You have to know what to do with it, how to dynamize that frame, how to use the frame, how to move the camera and add more. There are so many elements and motives and thought and subconscious level. It all starts moving. Why have I suddenly given a flame in the bathtub for him to dance? I don't know. I said Jim Morrison. I was shouting Jim Morrison on the set. I don't know why I was shouting. Where did Jim Morrison come on my mind at that point? Because I remember seeing a cigarette dance. So these are things which are operated on a subconscious level. If you ask me, why did you give him a flame in his hand in a bathtub? I have no answer for it.
Right.
But it just worked for me. I just have a way of seeing it. You will see it from here. I will see it from maybe there. Maybe that there is now working and connecting to the audience, to the people, to the film reviewers, they're saying, okay, fine, he's now finding his place to see it from a certain correct place. To find that vantage point takes a lot of time and experience, and you have to keep working at it. तो वो vantage point अभी वो correct जगह मिलने लग गई है मुझे, शायद वो आपको connect कर रही है. Colors की उस पे बहुत काम करता हूँ, art direction पे बहुत काम करता हूँ.
That shows.
I work a lot on all these things, and I give a lot of freedom to people who work with me to find their own potential. So I'm not saying I have done the art direction, I'm not saying I've done the cinematography, it's them. But I'm there with them all through to say, okay, fine, I like this, or we can do it better, or we can take it here, and then the rest is them. So it's great minds working together. So if anybody wants to achieve it, they have to work with great minds and great technicians, then they'll achieve it. And love them and respect them.
Yeah,
and tell the world that they are responsible for what is happening and not take the credit for themselves.
Right. Even in terms of the fact is that as a director, you're the one who's completely in control. Whatever you tell to these people, I think they just get to the table as well. The fact is that your influences are extraordinary in itself, and they are so organic and they come so naturally to you, and they're very diverse. It's like a metaphor in its own way. You're talking about Jim Morrison at the same time, you're talking about Lata ji as well. You have this fascination with Indian classical music and the entire tradition, but at the same time you are very, very well versed with whatever is happening as far as West is concerned, and that comes very naturally to you as well. I told Shahid about this as far as the background score is concerned, that you have the traditional, the expected aspect is you have the traditional dholak and sitar and all those instruments, but at the same time you have today's contemporary beats as well, which makes it unique. In a period set drama, you have that sort of this thing. So the way you just fuse it, it's like very metaphorical in its own way as well. So I'm sure that your influences, if you can tell us about your influences, how it comes so naturally to you, that you're having Jim Morrison at one point of time and you're thinking,
oh, my influences are bizarre.
Lata Mangeshkar,
from V. Shantaram to Ritvik Ghatak to Roshanara Begum, who I kept listening to in my headphones when I was on the set quietly. Nobody knew. Roshanara Begum is this fabulous classical singer who was in India and then lived in Pakistan. So I always liberate myself by doing counterpoint things. So when I'm shooting the opera, when I'm directing the opera in Paris, I've heard Madan Mohan and Lata Mangeshkar by the Seine walking up and down, because the theatre was very close to the river. So I would listen to something completely counterpoint, which has got nothing to do with it, and not get influenced by it, and then go there and do the opera, which is a French piece of music and classic, Western classical. when I shot Guzarish, I would listen to only Ajay Atul songs, Marathi songs. So I was doing the completely counterpoint. So I would not, I don't know what I listen to, why I listen to. There is a sense of spontaneity. I don't bind myself to saying I'm doing research, I'm doing this. I imbibe from all forms of art, from all architecture fascinates me, textiles and weaving fascinates me. Texture fascinates me. Music obviously is the soul of what I am all about. Painting fascinates me. So I'm imbibing freely and from anything from anywhere. But I would read a strange mythological while I'm doing Alauddin Khilji and delve into those figures which. I have no logic. If you sit down and understand and watch me make the film for 1 year, you will say, what on earth are you doing while you're making this film? You're listening to this when you're going and shooting Khali Bali. I'm listening to Roshanara Begum when I'm shooting to Khali Bali. But it just liberates me. I do not want to make my filmmaking serious. I don't believe in it. Yeah. I spontaneously tell my actor that, okay, 1 second, you suddenly do this. And suddenly, but why will I just do this? And then they realized when they're doing it that, yeah, it's right. When I'm doing this, I'm enjoying. Like, take the cap, take the crown and now cover her face. Yank it on her face. Yeah. Now, it's just one of those strange moments which have no logic. But why will I do that? How will I do that? Just do it. And Ranveer, because I have a great chemistry with him, he just flows with what I tell him to do. And many, many such examples. But all that comes out of liberating yourself, not taking yourself too seriously, not taking your art too seriously. कि आज मैं बड़ा scene shoot करने जा रहा हूँ, आज क्या होगा? I'm just enjoying it. I'm just flowing freely without worrying about क्या होगा इस scene. Fear नहीं है. मैं कोई सब्जेक्ट भी उठाता हूँ तो फियर नहीं है. फियर होता है तो आर्टिस्टिक माइंड बंद हो जाता है कि इसका बजट कवर होगा, ये बजट, ये इज दिस फिल्म वायबल ऑन द पेपर, ऑन द टेबल, is this subject going to really work through? I did Guzarish after Saver. I didn't do well at all, and it was again a very difficult subject to say. Okay, Hrithik Roshan को आपने लिटा दिया, but there's no fear. I'll just do what my heart tells me to do. Period. तो उस set के ऊपर भी I'm just suddenly remembering some Raj Kapoor moment and I'm doing it. I'm listening to. I saw a lot of Navrang. वी शांताराम जी घर जाके मैं नवरंग देखता था, वहाँ जाके अलाउद्दीन खिलजी का सीन शूट करता. कोई लेना देना नहीं है. बट देयर वाज सम फिल्म गॉड्स दैट आई वर्शिप टू. वी शांताराम जी हो, राज कपूर साहब हो, केतन मेहता हो. मुझे ये लोगों का काम बहुत ही डिवाइन, स्पिरिचुअल, मैजिकल सिनेमा इन इट्स प्योर फॉर्म, ऋत्विक घटक हो, सत्यजीत रे हो, वेरी फैसिनेटिंग. Look at the range that I follow. I like for my shelf of 10 best films. There is 36 Chaurungi Lane also. There is like Dr. Kim Moth also. There is Pakeezah and there is Mughal-E-Azam and I'm Mother India. Take freely from you the universe. You have to receive from the universe. It is not only about a film or a thought. While I'm talking to you, I'll receive 10 thoughts from your mind. I don't know what you're saying. That the answers are too long. It's not being precise. My 5 questions may not fit into it. I can see those thoughts coming in your mind.
No, so I'm just listening to yourself.